With the NBA playoffs officially tipping off tonight, why not end the show with our very own Nick Wright making his playoff predictions? All right, Nick, no pressure, but the entire world is probably watching right now. Let's start with the Eastern bracket. Who you got there?
All right, so listen, I'll be quick here. Hey, obviously, the Bucks are going to win in the first round. I think most people have the Heat also winning in the first round. Indiana's banged up. I think the Sixers, I think Embiid's going to be good enough to give the Celtics a series, but I think they advance. And the Raptors, it's not a slight on them. I have it going 6. It's just I've been so impressed by what the Nets have done under Jacques Vaughn. I think they're going to be ready for a fight. I do think, Broussard, the Bucks can get past Bam Adebayo's defense and the Miami Heat. And for the Celtics, I think they can make the conference finals, as they did a couple years ago. I think Tatum will play well this postseason, having learned from some of his missteps last year. But I do not think the Celtics can handle the Bucks. I think actually the Bucks will be able to beat the Celtics rather handily in 5 in the conference finals. But I think probably the biggest surprise there is having the Celtics beat the Raptors. Your take on that, Broussard?
Well, look, I think the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Raptors are all very close as far as their ability. So I'm not totally mad at you, but believe it or not, Nick, I've got the Raptors in the East. I thought long and hard about this.
Oh, wow. I like it.
The bubble, they were struggling, toward the end of the shutdown, and they struggled mightily in the bubble. I think if you pack in the paint and you force Giannis to shoot jump shots, now somebody else has to beat you at the end of games. Who's doing it? Chris Middleton, Kyle Korver, Brook Lopez, Eric Bledsoe? I'm not sure. So I got the Raptors. Boston scares me for Toronto. So that's not a terrible pick, them over the Raptors in 7. But I got the Raptors with their toughness getting out of the East. And I tell you what, a Kawhi Raptors final, delicious.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's
Go ahead, Wildes, jump in.
Remember, you broke out delicious last week.
I like that word, right?
I want to move on to
I'm making it a thing.
Delicious? You're just going to call all these matchups delicious? Jenna, I'm fine. I'm fine with this. I'm really, you know what I'm fired up about. The next one. Go ahead, Nick. Run the next one here. I hope Dame is not up early to watch this show, because you're going to end up on the next EP Dame releases.
Listen, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's just get to the main event here. Obviously, the Lakers are going to beat the Blazers. I've got it in 5. I've got the Rockets in a very tough series against OKC in 7. And then on that side of the bracket, I think the Rockets-Lakers be a great series because Russ will be back, but I got Lakers in 7. Bottom side of the bracket, I told you a month ago, Broussard, that I think Dallas could play the Clippers to 6. I'll stick with that. The Jazz are banged up. They're going to get annihilated in the first round, I would imagine, especially with Conley leaving the bubble for the birth of his child. And then, what I'm sure you're going to want to talk about, just the absolute sacrilege that I would dare have the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Clippers. The unbeatable Clippers, who we don't know if Montrezl Harrell's in any type of shape. You've got, by the way, Broussard with a little kind of takes working against each other. Kawhi is so great. How can you ever pick against Kawhi? By the way, the team Kawhi left, they're making the finals. So wait, did he carry them the whole time, or were they awesome? So did he get too much credit? I'm confused. But regardless, the emergence of Michael Porter Jr., no one on the Clippers to deal with Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets getting Jamal Murray back, all those reasons. That's why, unfortunately, as much as we would all love to see it, I don't think we're going to get the battle for Los Angeles, because I think the Nuggets are going to step in the way, Broussard.
Worst bracket I've seen in decades. Decades, I tell you. I mean, are you serious?
Decades.
First of all, your beloved Rockets are going out in the first round if Russ misses more than one game. If he misses more than one game, they won't get to the second. They won't live to see 2 weeks from now. Let's go to Denver. You talk about the Clippers' lack of chemistry. Guys haven't been there, and I give you that. But guess who has even more, commotion going on with their roster? The Nuggets. I mean, is Michael Porter Jr. going to be able to adjust to being maybe the 4th option if Will Barton and Gary Harris come back and play at some point? And
that's one of them good problems.
Porter Jr. is great. They got so much depth. It's a good problem, but these are young guys. Some of them don't know their roles. Everything is in flux. They will lose.
So the argument against the Nuggets is they might get healthier? The argument against the Nuggets is they might get more good players back.
Healthy or not, they're losing. They're not as good as the Clippers. I can't believe the way you belittle how good the Clippers are. I get it. You're trying to do the LeVar Ball thing and speak it into existence so they don't beat your Lakers. Because they're going to beat your Lakers and beat your Lakers in six.
In 6. Oh, okay. And you've got the Clippers winning the title. Clippers over Raptors, right?
Clippers winning it all. Clippers over the Raptors in 6 games. Yes.
Wildes, he called that the worst bracket he's seen in decades. Your thoughts?
It's not. Look, earlier you made fun of me because I wasn't ready to call the Blazers, and I'd like to say I am still not ready to call it. Not ready to call it yet. Want to see one game to see how Nurkic
3 games in,
handles Anthony Davis.
3 games in, he'll call it.
You don't want to give away just like giving away everything. We got nothing reason for people to watch the show for the rest of the week, Nick. You got to hold your title to the end of the week. If LeBron makes it, this will be the hardest playoff. No, he's changed, Nick.
No,
remember you said you wanted Kawhi, and then you changed it from last week.
I do. Listen, there's a difference between what I want and what I believe will happen. So this is a big difference between me and Broussard. So Broussard's just going with what he wants to have happen. I'm trying to analyze this. I'm trying to actually break it down. And God forbid I say the Nuggets can beat the Clippers. They split in the regular season pre-bubble, and in the bubble, the Clippers were so much better. Through 3 quarters, when both teams were playing starters, the Nuggets were up by 2. And then they benched everyone in the 4th quarter. So the idea that the Nuggets are just laughable, that they've got no chance. And so obviously I've got the Lakers over the Bucks in 6. I've said this all along. Beginning of the year, the pick was Lakers in 6 over the Bucks. Middle of the year, end of the year, I've had no reason to change it unless I'm going to let the bubble dissuade me, and I'm not going to let that happen, Broussard.
And Broussard, I assume you have the Clippers?
I got the Clippers over the Raptors in I'm going to use it again, Wildes, in a delicious final. 6 games, Kawhi against his old team. But look,
if that is the finals.
The Nuggets are legit.
Thank you.
But they are not as good as the Clippers. I can't believe you picked them over.
Well, do you want to give us something at the end?
Yes, I'm ready to announce my Blazers pick. Wednesday's show, 7:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. What? No, it's not. It's just going to start.
Last thoughts, Nick. Go ahead.
Save this.
If Broussard's finals comes to pass, if it's Raptors-Clippers, and somehow the Raptors win, then all of a sudden Kawhi will enter the LeBron territory of the worst thing you could have done was make the finals. Would have been better getting bounced in the first round, Jenna.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.